With a special message coming up for Donald Trump, I'm Keith Olbermann in New York with the worst persons of the day. The bronze to Rebecca Mansour, the woman who writes all that crap on Facebook that they put Sarah Palin's name on. Mansour has been engaged in a rather embarrassing Twitter campaign this week against reporters, taunting them with emails about why they didn't give huge play to a speech the half-governor gave in Wisconsin. One of the half dozen or so tweets went to CNN and implied that the network had not covered the word salad because, quote, she made Obama look bad by saying the stuff you gloss over. Then it turned out CNN had covered the speech and Mansour had to apologize. But the real embarrassment came when Mansour tweeted, quote, in a way I actually like it when they ignore her because I like it when they underestimate her, makes victory more fun. Ms. Mansour joined the Palin camp sometime during the 2008 vice presidential campaign, which raises a very important question. Exactly when has she experienced a Palin victory? The runner-up is the website Wonkette. First, it published a despicable post mocking Palin's developmentally challenged child Trig on the occasion of his 3rd birthday. Then the writer, somebody named Jack Stoof, S-T-E-U-F, could be Stuff for all I know, issued a half-assed apology in the form of an update. Apparently that's enough for the supposedly satirical website, which is proving that new media can become just as tone-deaf and irrelevant as things like Atlantic or Time magazine, only faster. Since Stoof's disaster, which he defended by saying he stood by his criticism of Sarah Palin using her child as a political prop, he has posted at least 6 new items at Wonkette, as if he, or the site itself, is just going to go along with business as usual. Business as usual at Wonkette not only meant being as insensitive, no, more insensitive than the people it purported to criticize, but also to have turned a legitimate question about the appropriateness of Mrs. Palin's inclusion of the baby in politics into another opportunity for Mrs. Palin to include the baby in politics, only this time with impunity. Mr. Stoof should have been fired or at minimum suspended. But our winner? Donald Trump. If you don't know who he is, he's one of those idiots pretending that President Obama has not produced proof of his birth in the United States. Only being outstandingly idiotic, Mr. Trump is doing it as loudly as he can, hinging a possible presidential run on this paranoid racist fantasy and lashing out like an 11-year-old at anyone who dares criticize him or even distance themselves from him. Jerry Seinfeld was to appear at an event staged by Trump's son Eric, benefiting St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Now he's not going. Instead, he has sent contributions both to the Eric Trump Foundation and to St. Jude. A press spokesman told reporters that Seinfeld had agreed in January to attend before the elder Trump flipped his wig, and that Seinfeld now, quote, feels increasingly uncomfortable with Trump's birther obsession, and quoting again, he feels this kind of demagoguery has no place in public discourse. Trump has now issued a tantrum. I just learned you canceled a show for my son's charity because of the fact that I'm being very aggressive with respect to President Obama, who's doing an absolutely terrible job as our leader. The frequently bankrupt Trump concluded, what I do feel badly about is that I agreed to do and did your failed show, The Marriage Ref, even though I thought it was absolutely terrible. Despite its poor ratings, I didn't cancel on you like you canceled on my son in St. Jude. I only wish I did. You should be ashamed of yourself. So Trump says Seinfeld should be ashamed of himself for doing something, and then also says he wishes he had done the same thing. More aptly, in the statement, Trump compares his birther campaign to a television show with poor ratings. Smartest thing he said in years. Don, let me give you 2 pieces of advice. 1, you're wigging out over this hair today, gone tomorrow birther nonsense. For you, ultimately, there will be hell to pay. And 2, bearing in mind that this is the FOK News Channel website, FOK, Friends of Keith, Don, FOK off.